Oh, and now we're to the side. Oh, and now we're...
Yay.
All right.
Well, that was a great start. So...
Hello, not Orlando.
So... Oh, that's Stella. Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about Halloween Horror Nights and a few other things, but mostly Halloween Horror Nights. And starting off with talking about Horror Nights 29, which is, let's start. Do you want to start off with House of the Year?
Sure.
House of the Year, not surprisingly, is
House of a Thousand Corpses,
which was an amazing house.
Yes.
I told people when they were considering where to go, I said go in to the Sand Scream in New York and go into one of the two, either Stranger Things or Ghostbusters, and then go right back to House of a Thousand Corpses because it's definitely a candidate for House of the Year, and of course it became House of the Year. It was either that or Ghostbusters. Giving its Halloween Horror Nights, I can see them leaning towards the house of horror, but both of them were pretty amazing.
By the way, hi Dan the Gamer. Hello, thank you
hey.
for joining us. It's funny because on one of my guest nights...
I forgot to set all my stuff. It's a good thing I set everything earlier.
On one of my guest nights, I just happened to go through House of a Thousand. And I came out and I saw all the management team. And I said, oh, House of the Year. And they said, yeah, thanks. And then I was only joking. I've got nothing to do with who decides House of the Year. I just said, it's my House of the Year. And they were like, hey, cool, thanks.
So what happens if I click on and go? I forgot all about it. I was worried about some other stuff. I don't have the chat up at all. So that's cool. So you're gonna have to watch the chat for me because
okay.
I forgot to bring that up. So the other thing is
I've got it up too.
Zone of the Year, oddly, is Anarcade.
Cool. I liked Anarcade. A lot of people were gunning for Vanity Ball though, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a surprise victory, Anarcade pulls through.
Yeah, I guess it's it depends on what they judge it by.
Yeah.
The Vanity Ball was really awesome, but Anarcade fit the kind of theme better of 80s retro. It goes along better with the Mayhem of Madness,
mm-hmm.
and it became the opening ceremonies because mm-hmm. all the scare actors from that zone walked up to the front and did their opening ceremony thing, which I finally got to see the opening ceremonies, and I thought it could have been a lot better. It was just like they played some audio and they're like, ooh, and they went to their zone like.
Yeah. Normally the opening ceremonies are a lot busier. Like there's been definite years where like there was a lot going on at Gates for opening ceremonies. This was a little bit different. But I also know like several people in Arcade, and I know that they worked very hard for all their scares, and they were very smart about those scares. They used those cabinets to their advantage and would hide behind them and circle around people and get them that way. And but yeah, like Arcade really came out of nowhere with Street of the Year. Like a lot of people were thinking, okay, it's gonna be Vanity Ball, maybe Zombieland, maybe Hellbilly. And then Anarcade just like, what? Nope, it's me.
Well, at least it wasn't. Sorry if you're in that zone. At least it wasn't Vikings Undead.
That was a good zone too. It was. It just Vikings gets very cramped, especially when we had busy nights and people were just trying to get through there. Vikings got very cramped.
Too much grunting, and that one terrible scream over and over and over again.
Oh yes, terrible. Actually, one day we came in to open the park, and they still had the music running For
Oh
when that
no!
goes on.
Ah!
It's like, yeah, we probably should take that out. Luckily, that area isn't open for early park admission anyway, but still, it was interesting. So,
I think that had such a negative audio impact on me, where An Arcade had like a hugely positive audio impact on me, because the soundtrack loop for An Arcade is probably, I mean, other than Hellbilly Deluxe, which is a favorite album of mine, like the An Arcade soundtrack was amazing. I could listen to that Tetris remix all the time.
Yeah.
Now, see, it was weird for me because my break space was just outside of An Arcade, and so like I could kind of hear the music all night long. So
you don't want to hear any more dubstep Tetris then, huh?
Actually, it didn't grate on me. That's the weird thing. For like the first week, that Double Dragon remix drove me crazy because I was like, I know this song, but what is this?
Contra was the one that I had to look up. I was like, I've played this before. Yeah. What is this? It was Contra. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's why I love. Well, I don't know. I know a lot of people use Shazam, but I started using SoundCloud back in the day. It was back when Starbucks used to give out cards. I wish they hadn't stopped this, for iPhones. You get it was like a $3 or $4 app, but you get a card for free code to download an app. Like every week, it was a different app. It was just a really cool way of finding new stuff. And I was using Shazam at the time, and SoundHound was not a free app, but it was with a card, and it was the first one I saw that gives you live lyrics, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
So I started using SoundHound instead, and at this point, Shazam might have added that, but I had already finished using it. So, and now with this expensive watch I have, I just bring that up on my watch, and it'll identify the song playing without even have to without even taking my phone out, which it's convenient, but it's also kind of good because I can sneak that when I'm on. I mean, I never do that when I'm working and in wardrobe. So, also thanks as always to Brandi for telling me about Weebly. I have a, for now, website that's orlandave.weebly.com, only because it's cost me $5 a month to connect to the domain I already own. But so for now, I'm gonna look at that, and eventually I'm going to connect it to my just orlandave.com. But
cool.
Because I forgot to pull up this earlier, it doesn't. I don't have the chat, so I was going to copy and paste it in there. But it's orlandave.weebly.com. That's the website for now.
Orlandave, say that one more time.
.weebly.com. So
orlandave.weebly.com. That's it?
Yeah, that should pop up in
Oh, there it is.
All right. Thank you.
2 W's in Weebly?
E's.
Oh, 2 E's. I'm sorry. Okay.
So not what that I think Brandi just put it in. Oh yeah, so yeah, go with the first one. So just stepping away from 29 for a moment, something weird happened a couple of days ago, and Halloween Horror Nights already announced the dates for Horror Nights 30.
Yay! Halloween all year.
Yeah. So the weird thing is it starts later than this year did, and it ends earlier than this year did. And
it's
overall,
4 days less, right? 4 days?
I think it's 4 days. Yeah, I did the math a couple of times. So Horror Nights 30 for now starts on the 10th of September and runs to the 31st, or Halloween, actual Halloween. Why?
Well, the weird part is opening night is a Thursday.
Yes, that's also strange too.
For years, and at least as far as you and me have been going,
yeah,
opening night has been a Friday, always been a Friday. Now, closing night, final night has always been a Saturday.
Yeah.
And the reason it's October 31st is because that's a Saturday this year, next year.
And for the last few years, closing night has been the night before we switch our clocks. So it's always been the day before, which is kind of unfortunate because if we fall back, it would get darker even earlier, and it would work out really nicely for Halloween Horror Nights. But the very next day, Horror Nights is over.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that all the Wednesdays are on there this time.
Yes.
Like this time we had the Rogue Wednesday, but it looks like all Wednesdays are on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Today is actually fittingly the I'm not going to say who it is, but a major corporation is having their event tonight at at Universal, and that's the past 2 years has been the reason why we haven't had a Thursday in the schedule. This year it was a Wednesday, but it was a different group. But next year they've already said, yep, we're not going to stop Horror Nights for a corporate, even though they threw a truck of money at us in the past.
And this company can throw trucks of money.
Night.
Yeah. So as I said before, Tribute Store is still open, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you happen to be visiting or you live local,
yep,
and you were like, well, I wanted a lanyard, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, go buy it now. Or I don't know, maybe that Horror Inc. shirt, but I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for another paycheck. Hey, buy it now.
Yeah. And I
Is the
love
selection
that.
pretty good? Is it picked over?
I kind of run through there quickly, but it looked like the selection is pretty good. It looks a little bit smaller in the Monster Room, but there was so much merchandise spread out through the resort in the parking structure back in San Francisco, and Cyber Image, which was the exit store for Monsters and what used to be Terminator 2, and there were some carts throughout, and there was one back by Men in Black, and there's one in Music Plaza. There was so much merchandise, and they were still pretty well stocked. All of them were really well stocked. So it seems to me like they're going to have a good amount of stuff for a while. I'm going to maybe go back through tomorrow after I finish with work. And maybe, shoot another video in there as well. But it's really nice because I've said before, it's house quality decorations. So it's nice to be able to, unfortunately, they didn't do anything for Stranger Things Day. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So that's the closest you can get to going through a house at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know if any props have ended up in the prop shop yet?
I haven't looked. I wouldn't think it would be that fast, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Just curious.
Yeah.
I
just hadn't thought of it.
I always kind of thought like the clown in my scare. Like, I wonder if someone's gonna buy this guy. I kind of thought about it. I would stand him over at the window and just like let him smile at everybody.
Yeah, I have no use for them, but those banners that are outside the Universal Studio Store that were the kind of the flags, I would like to buy one of those. I wouldn't because I don't know where to put it, but I kind of like the idea of owning one of them.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, especially for me, like I would want the Killer Clowns one.
Yeah. There weren't any Killer Clown ones.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about like the actual like.
I'm talking about outside of Halloween, the Universal Studio Store. They had on like the flagpoles. They had.
Oh, okay.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, I have nowhere to put them, but it would be nice. But I don't know. We'll see what ends up in the prop shop. Maybe I'll try to remember to go look at that tomorrow. It might not be till after they close the tribute store, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for Brian. What scare actor from Killer Clowns got Performer of the Year?
It was the Cass B Clownzilla operator.
Oh. That was a tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially listening to my Cast A guy like describe like what he has to do, and he had to. Both of them had to time it with the Terenzi brother that was down below. So the Terenzi brother does this scare. I am the great, the powerful JoJo. And at a certain point, like when the Terenzi says powerful, he's supposed to hit his trigger for the roar, Clownzilla's roar, and then
it roared.
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially like when it was working and like everything was timed up nice. Like it would roar, and then you would like see Clownzilla move.
I am Clownzilla. Hear me roar.
Yeah. So like they had a tough job because like they had to time it, and then he showed me the motion. It's kind of like he was rowing a boat, and plus he had a trigger to hit. So
Get out of my rowboat.
So yeah, the Cas B guy who was the operator was character of the year, and what that means is next year if he chooses to audition, he gets the first audition.
Ooh.
So all
Like
characters
a
of
private
the
parking space.
yeah, all characters of the year will get a first audition.
Nice.
It's a very good perk, and some of the veterans were telling me that years back, if you got character of the year, it was just like, hey, you got character of the year, cool,
Yeah.
congrats. And now it's a much bigger deal because it's like you get that priority audition, and it's not guaranteed, but you're heavily considered to be cast. And so before it was just like, oh, you're character of the year, cool. And now it's like, here's character of the year, enjoy your first audition.
Yeah. Nice.
I saw on Twitter that Ghostbusters was one of the Slimers, and Depths of Fear was one of the actual fish mouth brooders.
Cool.
Which
Oh,
for
which are,
sure
like,
needed to get it
big
because I'm sure that was a very labor intensive costume.
Yeah, and
Dean didn't get it though.
I've heard that the costume was also kind of uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
to accommodate, they would let you be a brooder one night, then be an infected another night, then go back to being a brooder, then infected. Like you'd switch on and off every night. And some of them,
huge.
yeah. Our cast A Fatso, so the guy behind the door with the heart that like sprung. So that guy was like, the heart weighed a few pounds and it would hurt everyone's back and hurt their shoulders. He was our only survivor. Like we would have rescues come in and like they would only make it like 2 sets, and like have to go home because like I can't take this anymore. So yeah, there were some uncomfortable costumes, but like they powered through, and so like well deserved for Depths of Fear. I know you guys can't probably tell, but this is my new Horror Night shirt. This is thought I'd wear it.
Nice.
Can you see
I got
it?
mine on.
Oh, maximum screamage.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. I'm
Maximum
still really sad that they didn't get to put the Ghostbusters logo on
Scrimmage.
there.
Wait, what? So that's got a little bit of every house in there.
Yeah, and every street. My favorite is for Nightingale's Blood Pit. It's a book, and the title is Attack of the Murder Chickens.
Perfect.
Yeah. It says, choose your own journey. Choose from 12 possible endings, all of which end in your death. Do you remember Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's still a thing anymore, but
I
like
don't know either.
I used to
Totally
love
still a
Junior.
thing.
Huh?
Those are totally still a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool, good.
And
'Cause
for a while, they people were trying to do that on YouTube when they used to have the annotation links, which unfortunately they got rid of, where you can start one video and then skip around, which was kind of
I
cool.
remember that. I do. I remember that.
Yeah, I love the Choose Your Own Adventure books, even though I hate reading.
If you did the Graveyard Games chat, it was Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
When you
Cool.
typed in the thing, it would always give you 2 choices for every reply, and you had to choose your own adventure through the graveyard.
Nice.
So that's almost kind of like what do they call it? The there's video games that do that. Like Mass Effect kind of did that. Like you would talk to somebody and there would be like 4 choices, and like based on like what you wanted to do, like you had to choose the right one. Like if you wanted to make friends with this person, like you had to choose like certain choices, and if you didn't, like, they might kill you or something. So like that's cool.
This Great Pumpkin mug, which I've had throughout the haunt seasons, I believe I got it in the mail from my mom. Every year she sends me Halloween cookies. So,
yep.
And this
Dan's
year,
right. Telltale Games does that. A lot of RPGs have that, actually, because I can think of instances even in like the Pokemon series that does that. Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda does that a little bit too.
And Dan, the gamer, just pointed out Telltale Games does that a lot too. Yes, they do. The Strong Bad games, in a subtle way, did that. It wasn't like it wasn't a dialogue branch. That's what the term is. Because like if you choose one thing, it goes here.
Okay.
But like you had to like think about what you wanted to do, and then like based on like you would have to like give like an item to like Stronsad or something, and like like I remember there was a section where you had to make Stronsad think that he was sick, so you had to keep like giving him medicine and all this stuff, and he's like, oh, maybe I don't feel good, and like would go over here, and you could go to this place. But yeah, like I used to love choose your own adventure books. Like I always thought that. So seeing Attack of the Murder Chickens, I was like, oh, it's a choose your own adventure book. Isn't that great?
Yeah. So
I would choose not to be murdered by one of those chicken things because those are terrifying. I would take the fish guy murdering me over the chicken guy any day.
Yeah. So, so I've had this. There's obviously the Great Pumpkin scene, and then it just says the Great Pumpkin. So this year, she used to send like Ziploc containers or something like that, and we would never send them back to her. So she got smart and started using reusing takeout containers. So I got the cookies in the mail and opened the top and just had the ones on top, and then I got to the bottom of it, and like a box of Cracker Jacks, there was a surprise toy inside. Except it wasn't advertised, so it was a surprise. And it's this little plate.
It's a Snoopy mummy and Woodstock dressed as mummies.
Yeah.
Is that ceramic plate?
I think it's plastic, but still,
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. Oh,
so it's a mummy Snoopy and a mummy Woodstock. Of course. So,
how many kids have wasted just rolls of toilet paper trying to dress as a mummy?
I don't know. What do you mean wasted? That's a perfectly good use of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's when you go to the dollar store. Don't waste a 2-ply on that.
Yeah.
And then if it rains, oh jeez.
Oh yeah.
That would not be good. So, are you enjoying chatting with us in real time instead of waiting for the delay of the internet?
Is it weird? It's kind of weird though, isn't it? Like it's really weird because it looks like I'm right next to you, but really I'm like 1,000 miles away. So
and not Orlando.
And 40 degrees colder. So
Brandi, why don't you point out your background while you're on camera?
Ta-da. Here, I'll move out of the way, but you won't see it for 3 seconds.
Oh no. That's the worst part of the show.
Now, did you buy that or did you paint that?
No, I did not paint it. I am, my favorite time to shop is November 1st when everything goes on clearance.
Uh-huh.
So this was on clearance at Spirit Halloween.
Oh, cool.
And it was Stranger Things Day yesterday, so I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
They had one set of the Ghostbusters lights, Dave, and guess what?
Oh, it didn't work.
They didn't work. So I didn't buy them.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Like all of them work except that one. And at the same time, I'm like, do I really need that? No, maybe it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like the one time I was going to put coins into the machine, or money into the machine for the coins to spray people on the Popeye and Bluto's Bill Drop barges, and it kept spitting the dollar out. And after like 3 or 4 or 5 times, I'm like, maybe it's trying to tell me to keep my money. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Although spraying the people is pretty funny.
But you can go up to Me Ship the Olive and spray them for free.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I was surprised to see that.
I don't want to get sprayed. I don't like Popeye.
Yeah. I
get frustrated Popeye every time though, because it's my kid's favorite. She loves Popeye.
I love that. I love that ride too. But it's down for maintenance right now until this December 23rd.
Yeah. So, and it started in September.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. That's a long refurb then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Extended delay.
Yeah. It might be. They might be working on items in the way. That's all I can say.
We'll be up for our next trip. I think I've got a pretty good idea of when we're coming back now. So it'll be back for us then for sure.
Well, hopefully, when you're here for 30, it won't be during blackout dates.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, Dave, I think we're going to come twice for 30. I think we're going to come twice. We have a Disney cruise scheduled for the first week in September anyway. So we get off the ship, and I think I'm going to get off the ship and then immediately come in and go for the first Saturday.
Cool.
And then we'll be back for a whole other week in October.
Nice. All right.
So we're going to do two separate HHN trips next year.
All right. Well,
I know we have mentioned it, but Dan the Gamer asked if we've heard about the Bourne show. So why don't we?
Yes, we have heard of it.
Let's take a second and update Dan about it. So yes, Dan, we have. The next time, if you're in Universal, what used to be T2 Battle Across Time has been shut down, and the entranceway has now been updated.
And I have two different signs that says the name of the attraction.
So
for reasons.
It's now the Bourne Stuntacular, and the exit door for Terminator, which was the horror shop during Horror Nights.
It's still called Cyber Image. Yeah. And actually, I think if you buy something, it still says Terminator something on the receipt.
Yeah. So that has now been shut down completely, and everything was cleared out of there.
Yeah.
For what did you say your thought was?
My speculation is that they're retheming it to become the gift shop for the Bourne, but I have no proof of that. I'm just going by the fact that before the Race to New York opened, they opened the Tonight Shop. Before Fast and Furious opened, they opened the Gear Shop.
That's true. Yeah.
It makes sense. They spent a lot of money rebuilding that whole building, that part of the building, to make the ride. So they want to get the merchandise in the store to start selling for the holiday season, to start generating revenue to earn back. Not that they're like about to go bankrupt, but still, they put a lot of money into the ride, and they want to start recovering that cost before the ride is open as soon as possible. So that's my guess, is it's going to be reopened as rethemed. But you want to?
It seems so early to me to put merch out already.
Yeah,
because the opening date's not until spring, right?
I think but that's when Fast and Furious opened, and it was, and the Gear Shop did open in that November.
Yeah. I remember that.
Maybe they'll take their time and do a little bit better job than they did with Fast and Furious.
So Dan also says the LED screen sounds cool. At least, like from what I've seen of like the entrance, I like the sign.
It looks kind of like the one from Transformers that always breaks. Except it goes this way and this way.
The reason we sound like not super excited about it is because
why Bourne now?
Well,
it seems like it's well past its prime, so like I don't know why they went with that.
Hey, I don't want to reserve judgment on that though, because like in Hollywood, they have the Waterworld stunt show. I don't think they call it Stuntacular, even though that's an amazing word. And you think Waterworld, like what is this property? That's not relevant anymore. And that Waterworld stunt show is amazing.
Well, it's because they put it in when the movie came out, and they probably, I don't know if they started, they had the show before the movie came out. Like, this movie's going to be awesome. It's going to break box office records. And what happened?
Yeah, Waterworld, the movie, was a giant flop.
Despite costing.
The stunt show is better than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, and I'm with Brandi. Like I've heard, like the Waterworld stunt show is still like a big attraction over at Universal Hollywood. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the reason like why now is because I'm guessing that it takes years to negotiate those contracts.
Yeah, but that franchise has been dead for longer than that.
Yeah, and well, I also heard that there's a show coming out.
Yeah.
Based on
we'll see.
board. Dan, the gamer, says instead of the movie being shown through projection, it's going to be on a big LED screen. Yeah, that sounds cool. Listen.
Don't know that. We can't talk about speculation.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a big Jimmy
Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon fan.
Like Jimmy Fallon.
But I gave the attraction a shot, and I think it's decent.
Up until the ride itself.
I went into Fast and Furious expecting nothing.
Oh, not me.
I expected nothing. Now, I heard from people who have been on it that it's just basically Khan again, because like you get into a bus and then you see stuff.
It's not even that good.
But like for me, as soon as I got into Fast and Furious and I sat down, I looked up at that monitor. I was like, "Oh, I'm on Disaster again. That's awesome." So maybe just that was my personal experience.
I saw a video from Hollywood, and then I rode the one here. I'm like, "Hey, it's the same ride. Great."
Well, see, when I got on Fast and Furious Orlando, I sat down. I was like, "Oh, I'm on Disaster again." And like even when we started moving,
it was a Disaster, all right.
But even when we started moving, I was like, "Oh, this is like going through. It's even going the same way as Disaster. Oh, look, that's the old room where we used to do the extra scenes."
Except it isn't.
But it feels like it is. That's the thing. Like it feels like it.
They leveled Disaster and they leveled the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review and built something even bigger for a ride that seems shorter.
Yes.
Hollywood's Fast and Furious is worse because the best part of the Orlando Fast and Furious is the queue. The queue is great. The cars are amazing. It has a lot of cool Easter eggs in it. There's the tribute to Paul Walker. You don't get any of that in Hollywood. Like you literally just go in the tunnel and then there's the Rock hanging from a helicopter.
But when you get out of the tunnel, at least there's more ride to do it. It's not just like, and we're in a parking garage. Bye. Like what?
True. Here's a wax figure of Vin Diesel.
Yeah. But going back, I blanked out here. So being that you're in the upside down tonight, and because of your background, and that reminds me of what they did in Cabana Bay, which is really cool. So let's go take a look at that now, shall we?
Cool.
Yeah. This is like the lead up to the thing, and that's why it's on the doors. You can see it's super good from the other side.
Yeah. Time for fun in the sun.
Hurry up.
Thank you. And there's a Scoops Ahoy.
You do this one first. It's cool though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does look like the one from last year. So.
Surprise now.
It's a very strange thing that's going on right now. No, there's really not much to see in here. It's just fake. Ahoy, matey!
Awesome.
All right, and we're back.
Hooray! That was cool.
Yep, it's can be a little bit delayed for you, but yeah, thanks for letting me to experience that. Unfortunately, this Brian wasn't there. There was a Brian present, so there was a representative of the Brian clan there, but Maybe next year you'll get to go. I mean, I barely made it myself.
I hope they bring it back, or something similar, or something just like anything Horror Nights from a property is cool in a resort to me.
It's what I've been saying over and over again. It's when Christmas happens, it's in every little crevice and corner of the entire resort. Every hotel, everywhere. When Halloween happens, it's a couple of donuts and Voodoo, most of Universal Studios, and that's it. Like I said before, I think what would be cool for the hotels is to have like buy bulk candy, make a sponsorship deal with candy companies like the other parks do. Give a little bag of just a few pieces of candy and like staple it or whatever. And then when a family checks in and during Halloween season, if they have kids, just give like one bag to each kid as they check in, like trick or treat. I mean, that'd be pretty cool and it'd be super cheap, or at least put a jack-o'-lantern in the lobby or something to acknowledge. But Christmas got to be everywhere. So I don't know why they don't do that, but this is nice because it's a little bit.
Cabana Bay, so I only saw Cabana Bay stuff. Was there anything HHN at any other resorts?
Nope.
Like we even had Stranger Things logo on the pizza boxes at Cabana Bay. Like there were a lot of little touches of stuff, but you had to look for it.
Yeah, it's the only thing that they do is they do put Halloween Horror Nights merchandise in some of the stores, but nothing like decorations or anything else like that. That's the first time I've done anything in any of the hotels.
Well, I loved it, and they need to do more.
Yeah, and that was thank you for shooting that, Dave. For people who didn't get to experience it.
Yeah, like I said, like I almost was me.
Yeah.
I was very, very late into the and
they wouldn't let you in there without a key card. You had to have a Cabana Bay key card to get into the room.
And the way it was described and the way I saw it on Twitter, it looked like it was in the lobby. So I'm like, well, we'll just walk in and you won't be able to get a picture, but. Then when we went through, it was like, oh, you can't even. It's a separate room. You can't even get in.
Yeah.
I heard it's possible some people got in anyway. I don't know. I can't verify that. But yeah, I hope that they're going to expand on that for 30. And like I said before, I suspect and hope that they're going to expand on those dates because this will be the first year that they've gone to fewer nights, so that doesn't make sense.
I think it's based on actual attendance levels and like the later, historically speaking, the later they've gone into November, the less crowd they've seen.
Not this year.
It was, what was it like?
It was pretty packed the first and the second.
Yes, that's true. Which is odd. I don't know, like why.
I don't know why did last year start off so crazy busy?
Because I think of Stranger Things, but like why I think people are trying to guess. I think are trying to navigate around each other. It's like, all right, we'll go opening night, and then everyone decides, okay, we'll go opening weekend, and then like, all right, then we'll go final weekend, and everyone decides to go final weekend.
Maybe, I don't know. I just thought
next year with it being an anniversary year, that all bets are off. Like, I think attendance is going to be high overall just because of the anniversary.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that they would start it on the 4th because that's the Friday next year would be the 4th because of leap year.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Nope.
Maybe they're trying to avoid the Labor Day holiday.
I don't know. Someone told me that it had to be on Thursday because the Friday was September 11th. And they didn't want to open on September 11th. I'm not sure if that's true.
I would guess not. I mean, because like they could have just started a week earlier, like they did.
Yeah, like I thought they would. I mean, there's still plenty of time. 307 days. Not that I'm counting, but and there's 59 days until the final Christmas parade, and 86 days until the first Mardi Gras parade. So hey,
woo.
Hey, Mardi Gras.
Spectacular.
Ahee. Let the good times roll.
Let's just skip Christmas and go straight to Mardi Gras.
All right. Mardi Gras is great. It's, doing lockdown is a little stressful, though, but it is cool. I do like that a lot.
By the way, hello, Leroy Brown. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, hey.
I
need to tell her that story.
Wait. Leroy said that was super cool. He was talking about the Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, it was
tribute.
So I do have a story about that. This year, as obviously you guys know, I decided to live stream or attempt live streaming in the scare zones, especially the first night. I'm most likely going to do that again next year, just because I'm like, well, can't be out faster than live streaming. So I was like, well, let's walk through the zones, and I was surprised how well it went for the first one. I think it was Vanity Ball. I walked through that and got quite a lot of comments. And one of the people who commented on one of the streams was Leroy there.
Okay.
And about I don't know if you want to maybe post a brief thing here, but their daughter worked as a fire crew.
Oh, sure, yes.
And,
I remember.
And I was like, well, I'm not. So I was trying to go for reserve. So you never know what night to night, who or where what character and what zone they were going to be in. So I was like, well, I'm going to be shooting the last night or streaming the last night. So I'll try my best to get everybody, and I did find out what zone she was going to be in, but not what cast, and it's kind of hard to tell in a zone which cast you're looking at anyway.
Yeah.
So I just went around and streamed, and it was like every single scare actor I see, I'm going to try to give each one of them a bunch of face time, and hopefully one of them will be the right person, and hopefully they don't have a mask, so so they can see her in action. And luckily I did catch that particular scare actor 3 different times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she was kind of hiding in the cabinets. I didn't get as much as I wanted to, but that just shows you what even when we're not working, we're still thinking about our guests.
Yeah. And it was cool for Leroy to see his daughter scare acting.
Yeah.
And I could tell from the comments that it meant a lot. So I'm glad you did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I hope that like it's not cast A, and the scare actor I'm looking for was in cast B, but luckily it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
The only thing that was a bummer.
Reserve would be the coolest. You get to try everything. Reserve sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's ups and downs to it. Like, you get to try everything, but you're also not guaranteed a spot. Look, one of my character friends was on reserve this year, and
good job, Stella.
it was like week 3, and it's like week 3 or 4. She's like, I've only been cast like 4 times, and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of lame. And she's like, yeah, we never know. Fire crew is you're guaranteed a spot, you just don't know where.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the difference.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Felix would be joining us, but maybe he's busy.
I mean, I did tell him, so yeah, he might be busy.
All right, so moving on briefly to Disney. I haven't confirmed myself. I've been needing to do this, but when they started to rebuild the entrance for Epcot, I was thinking, please move security, because what was really annoying, and I understand why, because Epcot was built in the 80s, and bag scanners and things like that are very, very recent, in the last 10, not even the last 10 years, and so a lot of theme parks have issues with Universal was lucky that they built that giant rotunda back in 1999, and there was enough space for the screening. But what happened was, if you went to the ticket and transportation and ticketing center from Magic Kingdom, and then took the monorail from the transportation and ticketing center over to Epcot, you got dumped out into the same flow as people who are coming from somewhere else who haven't been screened yet. So you were in one theme park already screened, went to the other theme park, had to go through screening all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was one of the reasons why they rebuilt the entrance was they moved the screening on the other side of the dump from the monorail. So what I believe is happening now is once you've been screened, and they're going to be doing this for all of them. Once you've been screened, you're screened. You don't have to go through it again, which is really nice. I kind of was hoping that for the Skyliner, that it would go from inside one park to the inside the other park, but I'm guessing that they didn't do that. My speculation is because if they did that, you would have to have a ticket to ride it, and maybe they wanted to have everybody experience it.
Yeah.
But whatever reason, they didn't do that. But I'm very glad that they are changing the entrances so you don't have to go through screening so many times. And someone's like, well, I'd rather be safe than like, well, yeah, okay, great. But, there's a difference between being safe and just getting annoyed because they've already scanned me once. So,
yeah.
But so that's good. That I'm glad that's happening. I did get a comp pass, but I'm waiting for Brett to go. I think it might actually have to be next year. We're going to go and take a look at that because I haven't been in Disney in a while, back since May. So Disney World, obviously I was in Disneyland in July. So the funny thing is I've never been to Galaxy's Edge down the street from me, but I've been to the one on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
So.
Same. Oh, it's not down the street from me, but I've only been to West Coast. I haven't been to East Coast yet either.
But Disney World is still
soon,
closer to you.
Soon. I'm going to be making a trek here in the winter time. So.
Yeah, it is still closer than California, I think.
Yes, much so.
So, not a whole lot to talk about. They're doing some holiday thing, I guess, whatever.
Some holiday thing.
It's Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas Spectacular. I don't know.
Mickey's Not So... Mickey's Holiday...
Very Merry Scary Spectacular.
Very Merry Scary Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, what's Thanksgiving?
That's where we have a day off to have turkey.
Oh, I thought that was Christmas.
That's the other day off to have turkey.
I thought we went from Halloween and Christmas to Christmas. There's
I thought we decided just skipping straight to Mardi Gras that we were not going to have any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. So, over to LEGOLAND Florida, they've actually, if you think it's a little early to announce Halloween Horror Nights, LEGOLAND has announced their entire schedule for next year, which is pretty cool. So, starting their email was out of order, so I had to. I was like reading through. I'm like, okay, so April and then January. Like, wait, did they? I don't know what they're. So, January 25th and 26th, February 2nd, 1st and 2nd, and 8th and 9th is going to be Ninjago days, which are pretty interesting. Next year they're opening the water park even earlier. The water park season will be starting on February 15th. More days than before, so that's cool. The water park is nice. It's not really theirs. It's part of what was Cypress Gardens that was there before it became Legoland, so it needs a lot of attention, but it is a really nice water park.
Yeah.
Me not having to pay for it and deal with logistics, I would like to see them build a parking garage, take some of the current parking, build a brand new modern water park, and then use the water park land for something else, because it's on you have to go through the entire park to get to the water park. They might not have the budget, because unfortunately it's not as close to Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld as I wish it was. But that's just me. By
the way, if you watch the boat show, or the Pirate Cove show,
and do it soon.
There's in the beginning, the introduction is far away from everything else, but pretty close to right here. I'm like, oh, that's a location joke.
Yeah.
Now, see, back in the day, way back before Disney World existed,
or I-4.
Yeah, Cypress Gardens was the place to go in Central Florida. I-4 and Disney World kind of took the thunder out of that.
Yeah.
So
it was along the only way to get through Florida at the time.
yeah.
So, then opening on April 17th, sorry, there's going to be a few things that happen within the same weekend for a very good reason. So, the Legoland Pirate Island Hotel has their grand opening on April 17th.
Cool.
Happening the very next day is both the new Pirate Water Ski Show, keeping with the pirate theme, of course, and the Pirate Fest Weekends, which is also a brand new event that's going to be starting on the 18th and the 19th, going to the 25th, 26th, and May 2nd to the 3rd.
Cool.
So they keep adding these new events. So that's something that's new this year. And going to July is Red, White, and Boom. It's another event where you get the glasses where you see the bricks in the fireworks over the lagoon or the lake or whatever that is. That is July 2nd to the 4th, through the 4th. So that's pretty cool. Don't remember if we've been there for that, but
no, the only thing I think we've ever really done is Brick or Treat and the
Lego Movie Days.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, the Lego Movie Days, which was brand new this year, is coming back again for a bunch of dates. It's actually July the 11th, 12th, 18th and 19th, 25th and 26th, and August 1st and 2nd. So after that is going to be Heroes Weekend, which is about military heroes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And I believe that might have been new this year. So that's returning for only 2 days, August 8th to the 9th. And then the important thing, Brick or Treat is starting earlier this year. And it is, last year it started on October 6th, which is exactly 1 month after our event started. It is opening October 3rd and the 4th, the 10th and 11th, the 17th, 18th, 24th, and 25th. And the cool thing is, it's going to be going on Halloween. So October 31st, you can go to Brick or Treat. So I don't know how well it'll work, but we could try going to Brick or Treat in the morning and then coming to Halloween Horror Nights in the evening.
And that's going to kill me.
Having a heck of a Halloween.
Brave.
Well, this guy might be scare acting too.
We'll see.
Yeah, if all goes well. So,
but that would be a pretty cool Halloween, though.
It would also be
Halloween Horror Nights.
It would be a long Halloween, though.
Well, I mean, how else would you do Halloween than enjoy every last minute of it?
I guess, but I'm gonna be like, yeah.
So
yeah,
you'll just dress as a zombie.
I'll be dressed as a zombie. Yeah.
Do the Brick or Treat activities go all day, or are they just at night?
No, they start early in the morning.
Super late, right?
Yeah, they start early in the morning and go to the afternoon. The only thing that's really in the evening, of course, is the fireworks.
Yeah.
We missed a bunch of things because we didn't get there extra early, but because it's mainly for kids, a lot of the stuff starts really early.
Yeah.
So you can catch a lot of it and then come over here.
Now, by the way, if you are interested in checking out anything, a lot of the event dates are going to be Saturdays and Sundays.
Pretty much every single one of them. Actually, every single one of them.
Now, the opening of the Pirate Hotel is going to be President's Day. That's a Monday.
But most of them are.
Yeah, most of these event dates are Saturdays and Sundays. That's when, unlike Halloween Horror Nights, which runs most of the week.
Yeah.
The Legoland events are strictly weekends.
Same as SeaWorld.
Yeah.
And then after that, some days they have some holiday thing or whatever.
Some holiday thing.
Yeah. So that is a look at Legoland Florida. And I've said before, if you don't have kids and you're not a kid, what we found out was this place is still awesome anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's very enjoyable, and surprisingly, even though it's very, very far, a place very, very far away, but very close to here, they seem to be doing very well.
Yeah.
The water park was opening earlier. They opened a whole new land. It's only been Legoland since 2015. But every year they keep adding more events, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully, Brandi, we will you will be able to visit one of those times you're down here, because it is really awesome.
I want to try to make it work. I've mentioned it several trips that we've come down. It's just the distance is the barrier there for sure.
Yeah,
and when we come, we're only in like a week max. So I'm usually trying to do about 82,000 things in 4 days.
That's why the main reason why I'm kind of bummed that it's not close, because a lot of people probably want to go and don't. That's what's so great about that shuttle, even though they've raised the prices. The shuttle that comes from what used to be the Orlando Eye, and it'll take you down there and back. So if you don't have a car, as long as you can even get, and if you don't have a car and you're staying at Universal or Disney, I mean, an Uber or something like that shouldn't cost that much to get to where the Icon Park. And then you take the shuttle down and back, and you don't have to worry about driving, directions. You just find the bus and go down there for the day.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cool.
So that's the end of my list.
I wanted to mention one more thing before we wrap up. So Horror Nights, alongside announcing the dates for next year's Halloween Horror Nights, if you go on HalloweenHorrorNights.com and you scroll through the pictures, there's a picture of the arches. The interesting thing is, if you look close, and it's probably concept art.
It's not concept art.
Okay, well, it's a picture of the arches.
And it's a bunch of different images from their videos or their promo shots from other years.
Yeah, but what's interesting is like the little houses that they put on the arches. If you look, it looks like one of them is the Usher, one of them is Fear, which was an old icon from 20 Years of Fear, so 2010. And Fear is a rare icon. Like Fear, has been an icon once and debuted in 2010. So that right there, that looks like the Usher. Looks like Fear.
Can't see it. I don't see Fear on here at all. But
right,
this is Skellington.
Oh, the skeleton. Okay, never mind. I was thinking that they were kind of.
I have to look at it closer. The clown is from 2017, I believe. There's a few of them I don't recognize.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you kind of have to catch it because it goes by pretty quickly. But
yes,
I think it's either concept art or not concept art, either promo photos or straight from video.
But I don't remember that. I don't remember those clowns from 2017.
I do. That was it was in the Springfield zone.
Yeah, they were absolutely clowns in 2017 in Springfield.
All right. I guess that's the price of being a character, because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, unfortunately the screenshot is on my other account, so I can't bring it up.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the Springfield clowns they had in the video.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. I thought
there's a few of them that they're kind of hard to see because it's a kind of a low res image.
Yeah.
So when you blow it up, it doesn't really. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, those are Scare Zone images from different years, pretty recent years too.
Do you guys know if they hid any house Easter eggs? Like they hid the Easter egg in Carnival Graveyard last year that never really panned out, but
the one that
anything in.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything either. The one thing that they did that maybe you saw, Brandi, was on Halloween night they semi-decorated the arches with some Christmas stuff, and they had carolers, and then the carolers got protested by Horror Night fans.
I saw that on Twitter. Oh my gosh.
And then Santa and an elf went through Yeti thinking they were at the North Pole, but they took a wrong turn. And so
I did see that. Amazing.
So there's an awesome video of an elf just getting freaked out in Yeti.
Krampus confirmed, right? Ha ha.
Yeah. So yeah, one of them, the clown is. Now I'm looking at it again. Clown is absolutely from the Scare Zone. There's an image next to it that it's just a blob of pixels. I can't.
It's something skeletons.
I can't make it out. There's like an angel or
I think that's one of the old icons from.
If you're watching, you go to HalloweenHorrorNights.com and then go to Orlando. It's one of the images that scrolls by. And then
The only thing that blurb really confirms, though, is 5 scare zones and 10 houses again.
Yeah.
Because I know there was like some talk on maybe there would be an extra house, but where are they going to put it?
Is this, I can't remember right now. I could almost tell you what year this was. I took the picture because it was the year that they only had 5 IP, and there was that one arch over group sales that was empty for some reason.
Yeah.
Was
it 26?
It might have been. I've said for every single year since 23, I think, that they should just bring back the screen and the arches because that was awesome.
Yeah.
That's from 28, was it? Or 20? Not 28.
Yeah, 28. Yeah. Now, see, looking at it far off, it reminded me of Fear. Now that's definitely no, that's
not at all. I don't know who that is.
That's from Bio Blood.
Oh, okay. It's really hard to tell because, like I said, it's not a high res image.
So, I thought they were teasing with like, hey, here's what might be coming next year.
No, they wouldn't do that. Especially
speculation aside, what do you guys want to see? Like in an ideal world.
Well,
your non-property, like what would you like to see come back or new properties?
Well, you don't have to think very hard to think about my answer for that one. It's coming back.
Oh yeah,
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would love to see. I don't expect it, but I'd love to see. I went back to again Halloween Horror Nightmares is that a fantastic site that I've been loving to go to every year, or for a long time. They have archives of previous Halloween Horror Nights, including the guide maps.
Mm-hmm.
The one for the Horror Nights in 1999, the year I went, I don't know if that's the official one they have on their website, but someone really screwed up because the letters in the map were completely wrong. There's like 2 of the same letter, and then one was missing, and then like it said something about the Fear Factor stage, but the letter was somewhere else. And it's like, wow. But I did see, I didn't realize that they used to use the Animal Actors stage during Halloween Horror Nights.
That's true. Yeah, I heard way back, way back, they used to use Animal Actor on set.
I don't know if they would ever do that again, but my ideal for shows, my ideal would be put Academy villains in the Animal Actors because I think they did better with a smaller stage. I loved the shows when they were in the streets, but they didn't have to be in the actual streets. And it would still give them more seating than they had. Well, they didn't have seats, but more audience space than they had outside of the horror and makeup and Mel's area.
Mm-hmm.
Still do the Lagoon show, which I can't see why they wouldn't do that again. And of course, in the Bill and Ted Theater, it would be either Bill and Ted or a show like Bill and Ted, but with different IP, which I'd be fine with as well. I mean, I do like Bill and Ted and Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure, but I love a lot of other elements of that show that could come back in a different form. And as long as it's making fun of pop culture and there's dancing and good writing and good lighting, if they brought it back without actual Bill and Ted, okay. As far as houses, I'm not sure.
Well, before I get in my perfect world wishes, Brian Elmore in the chat says definitely Clowns in Springfield in 2017. Like, I don't remember that at all, but I do. That was the year I was in The Shining, so I had only a few.
Then you should know everything because you had telekinesis.
He was too busy tending the bar.
Yeah.
What's going to be?
Hair the dog that bit me, Lloyd. Excellent Toy Story. Yeah, I don't remember those clowns whatsoever, but like I only had a few guest nights, and that is one of the downsides of being a character is unless you specifically say I want these dates off, you are working every single night.
Yeah.
Unless you're like reserve and you get lucky and you get to enjoy it a lot.
Well, that's
lucky.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I don't know if you would like my department, but we're done at latest at 8:30 p.m. So I can go through so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, before I forget, I would like to see better characters. Sorry for, if anyone's watching, better characters in Springfield like last year and the year before, because this year's was,
No.
I just didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah. Well,
I felt like a repeat of last year though. Like I don't feel like there was really any, like there wasn't anything new there.
Yeah, I just felt like the characters were a little better last year.
maybe. Based on who
They should just make that an actual zone. I don't understand why they don't make it a zone and give it a theme and call it Krusty's Creepy Carnival, or like flesh it out a little bit more. It has such potential and then they don't ever use it.
The reason is because it's supposed to be a surprise. So you look at the map and you see, okay, here's these zones, here's these houses. So if we're going to like Nightingales, okay, well there's nothing after Vikings, so we'll be cool. We can go get a drink or something and relax and put our guard down. And then oh no, Chainsaw Horde. Oh god. It's supposed to be now. They're officially a roaming horde, but they stay in one spot. Now,
still a pretty big area.
Yeah. Now, years and back, the Chainsaw Horde would actually roam and go all over the park. There was one year where the roaming horde was mostly around where the Killer Clown Street was, over at on the other side of the lagoon, over by Transformers. And I remember the Cary, Ohio women's chainsaw group would go all over the place. The chainsaw drill team would go all over the place. So that's the reasoning of like it's an unmarked zone, even though it's supposed to be the roaming chainsaw horde, which they have every year. So veterans know okay, at some point there's gonna be chainsaws around here, and that's the reasoning for it.
I'm surprised that the marketing team doesn't want to jump all over that and be like, well, we can advertise it as 6 zones.
Yeah, that's
28 had them in 2 locations. 28 had them in Springfield, and then where Killer Clowns, it was not in the San Francisco area. They were Chainsaw Horde in San Francisco also.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Brian also pointed out they had chainsaws. That part makes sense to me. That that anywhere in Springfield, you're always going to have chainsaws.
And some people were criticizing this year's Springfield because they were wearing bright paint on them, and like, oh, you can't sneak up on someone when you have bright paint on. And it's like, well, no, because a good scare actor, you can see them looking right at them, see them, and they can still scare you. So
that's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah, it might not be able to hide, but they could still scare you. It's happened to me. I've been looking right at them, and they still got me, knowing it's going to happen, and they still got me. So,
as a scare actor, the biggest call to battle is "I see you," and I'm like, "All right, watch this." And then 9 times out of 10, when they go, "I see you," and I scare them anyway, they go, "Oh," you actually scare them.
Yeah.
Now there's the tough hardcore veterans who go, "I see you," and you scare them and they're like, "Hi,"
like me.
Yeah, but like most of the time when you go, "I see you," all you're doing is you're making yourself the big red target. Yep. That's all you're doing.
And it wasn't like their entire outfit was neon. It was like splatters of it. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't that much, but that doesn't mean. And of course, you get a lot of hide scares. The one it's called the Portofino Bridge for whatever reason. The bridge that goes between Diagon Alley to Springfield. There's that one side where every year they always hide right there at the end of the bridge, and it always works. And if you watched my 2 walkthroughs of the scare zones during the day, you'll see someone walking with a cup full of some drink or whatever, and didn't spill the whole cup, but like I was like, watch, this is gonna work. He jumps out, a little bit of the liquid comes out of the cup, and was like, yep, they've done it every year, but it always works.
Yeah.
So I've been got there. I've absolutely been got there.
Yeah. So yeah. Where are we coming from?
Yeah. That's about it. I wanted to speculate on the arches, and we at least got to learn things.
Well, we're talking about what we want to see for next year.
Oh, so my wishful thinking. So based on like what happened this year, I would do my scare in Killer Clowns, and several people like throughout the run.
Oh, run.
You know, like throughout the event of Horror Nights, they would go, "Oh, that guy was in The Shining. Oh, great party, isn't it?" I had three guys come through. I do my scare. They go, "Great party, isn't it?" And they moved on, and I'm like, "Dude, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's awesome." It's a huge compliment for me that, because I was a little bummed. I was like, "Oh man, I want to wear a costume. I want to wear a mask," and I was like, "Well, I don't know, maybe it won't be so bad." And so, like, you know, people like seeing my face and recognizing me. I kind of wish more people recognized me from Slaughter Cinema, but like, regardless,
it makes sense because it was a big franchise.
That's a classic.
Yeah, but like, I thought to myself, man, if they ever bring back The Shining, I'm gonna let down so many people if they go in The Shining, they see Great Party as in it, and it's not me.
Yeah, it could be. Obviously, every year that passes, it's got to make it so much harder for them to pick the combination house from past years.
Yeah.
Because now they have 29 houses to pick from, or 29 years to pick from.
Yeah.
And of course, more years go by, more years of 10 houses, and you know the 5.1 scare zones. But yeah, hopefully they will have a part of The Shining in there, and we'll see.
The anniversary house is always the originals, but for 25 they did bring back American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
and it was pretty much the same exact house except for the ending the final room was different. So
just got to throw this out there: The Shining sequel movie's out right now.
Dr. Sleep.
That is true. That is very true.
I heard it's not as much horror though.
It could happen.
It's not as much horror, but then again, we had Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was like, they might do Dr. Sleep, and
which looks pretty awesome.
Just for fan service, they might throw in the Great Party is in it, and like throw me in there.
Maybe, but I kind of like the fact that Stephen King seemed like he was very involved, or at least somewhat involved with Dr. Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
They probably, I can imagine the director would be like, "Please like this, please, please, Mr. King, could please like this, please."
Yeah.
So, because I saw an interview with them, and it was a little bit of fan service for those who liked the Kubrick version, and then obviously sticking to the book as well.
Sure. I will say the miniseries for The Shining is very faithful to the book. It's just it's not the Kubrick movie.
Yeah.
The Kubrick movie is a stone cold classic, and yes, I'm fully aware that Stephen King did not like it. He did not like how Wendy Torrance got adapted for the movie. I don't think he was particularly thrilled with Jack Torrance. He didn't like the changes. Like the book ends in the Overlook exploding because you're supposed to be watching the boiler because it's an old boiler and it'll, overheat and pressurize and explode if you do not watch it. And that's what happened in the end of the book. And instead, you see Jack was frozen.
Yeah, hi Stella.
And Stephen King was on record saying, "Well,
yes,
I'm hot. Stanley Kubrick is cold. That's the difference."
Yeah.
Brian points out Hulu has that Misery series. That might be cool. Yeah, That seems a prime Horror Nights house,
Yeah.
a misery house.
I don't know if I have any like house things that I like to see return that I can think of right now. More of like elements. I miss, maybe people just didn't like it. I miss the 3D houses.
Yes. Yeah.
I kind of miss the tunnels, that spinning tunnel. I can see them not bringing it back because it probably slowed down the line. Because the first few times we went through, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
And you actually thought...
This is Asylum in Wonderland?
Yes. Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, there was... No, I think there was...
Yeah, the tunnel's in Asylum.
Was there?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah,
Time's
I think
up,
that was
down.
I think that was the last time they used it. That's the thing that's been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have 2 of them in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yes, yeah.
The funny thing is, the first time we went through it, you thought it was spinning. It's an optical illusion. It's a disconnect between what your eyes are telling you and what your other senses are telling you. Your eyes are telling you that it's spinning, therefore you're spinning, even though you're not. But after several years of that in Halloween Horror Nights, I can just walk end to end, like I'm just walking through any other room. It doesn't. I think over time your brain calibrates and like, okay, I see what's going on here. You're not actually moving, because when I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, like I just walked straight through the room.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't affect me at all. First time, oh yeah, it did. So I kind of would like to see that come back, but I understand if it would like slow down the line a lot, because I can see how it does that. Like even, I think in Hollow Scream, when they had one over there, they had 2 of them, so they can divert the traffic.
Yeah.
And it's not slow down as much.
Even our little like local theme park here, that they do an event called Ghost Train, and it has a house that has one of those spinny tunnels in it. They make me dizzy.
But another thing I'd like to see that I don't know why they don't do, and they may never, I don't know, is kid-friendly stuff during the day. I don't understand why they don't do that. So.
Do you think we'll see more Potter stuff come over? Like how they did the dark art stuff? I think that would be a really cool addition to Diagon. Something
over in Diagon Alley would be cool. But that's up to Warner Brothers and JK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
If I had my way and they said, hey, Brian, you can bring back one thing from Horror Nights Past, what would you do? I'd tell them to do the original Dungeon of Terror from Fright Nights back in 1991. It's something that only like the people who were there that year got to experience. Like it's never returned in any form that I've been aware of,
except for a sign during 25.
Yeah, it was on the stage for Jack's show. It was over, it said Dungeon of Terror, and it pointed at something.
Yeah. Maybe finally have Cindy.
Yes, have Cindy be an icon finally. Yeah, Cindy is the caretaker's daughter. For those who are deep into Horror Nights lore, the caretaker was experimenting with like dead bodies and bringing them back to life and killing people, and that's his daughter. And she was supposed to be the icon for
2001.
Yeah, no, not 2001. 2010, I think.
Oh.
2010, but something happened in Orlando that they were like, okay, we'll change that, and it became Fear itself.
Wasn't that the year of the Sandy Hook shooting? So they were like not really keen on having a bunch of dead kids.
Oh yeah, I think it might have been.
No, it was. I think there was a kidnapping here, or like a local kidnapping, and they were like, yeah, let's not have some evil girl be the icon. Mm. She did have her house. The orphanage Ashes to Ashes was her house. Mm. That's where. That's why it was on fire at the end, because there was somebody. If you look at it, like it's from 2010. Like she's in the icon zone, and someone was talking to her. She responds in character. She's like, "So what do you think of the orphanage?" She's like, "Oh, I burned that down." Hee hee hee.
And she was in the streets for 20 Years of Fear, mm-hmm. and then she made a brief appearance in Jack's house for 25.
Yeah, and she was one of the minions over at Caretaker's area. during 25.
Mm.
Yeah, and really anything like old school, from old school Horror Nights, like Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters of Mayhem, only went back as far as 2000, and I would really like to see them bring back one of the old houses from the first 5 years.
I would think it would be hilarious. It would. I don't know if it would make sense, but it would be hilarious if Jack the Clown was paddling around the lagoon during the day in Halloween in Universal Studios.
Oh, like the Lake Eola
Yes.
promo. That would be awesome.
Just get some paddle boat, just
paddling around,
and just have him yell at people trying to take his picture and stuff like that.
Well, he'd probably be in the middle, but yeah, if he got closer.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey,
hilarious.
Universal, if you're watching right now, go ahead, use that idea.
Or even just for opening night, or during or just shoot it as a promo.
Yeah.
But
what if they brought him out like an electrical water pageant float for whatever happens to the lagoon show next year? They could boat out on a little float. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that or an electrical parade where bodies are being electrocuted on it.
Yeah.
On the floats.
Yeah. Zappy zappy.
Yeah. I also speaking I don't know what it had to do with Halloween, but I sure do miss that big ball of fire in the lagoon.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
It just kind of went away. The one time he and I did a little Apocalypse Now thing
yes,
because we stood there and we timed the fire, and it was really precise every 30 or whatever it was seconds, and you one take did a monologue from Apocalypse Now, knowing exactly when it would go off.
Yeah.
And it went off right when he was referencing it.
Yeah. So this is old school Horror Nights stuff. In the middle of the lagoon, there would just be it wasn't much to it. It was just this giant of fire, and it would go off like you said every 30 seconds, and it was really cool. And it's just something they don't do that much anymore. The last time
they haven't done it at all in the last few years.
The last real one that they did was for the Trick or Treat Scare Zone.
Yeah. But the one in the lagoon, they haven't done that.
Yeah, they haven't done that since at least 24.
Maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, I could probably think of 100 other things if I sat here long enough.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's your turn, Brandi. What would you like to see? I know that you haven't been coming as long, but I'm sure that you've watched a lot of videos from the past.
Or something they haven't ever done that you would like to see. Either one.
I think probably the most prime horror movie, aesthetically, that would make a really cool house for next year is Midsummer.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which has a very bright, and it's very floral and Swedish. But I think that they could really do some really great scenic things with that. It'll be old news next year though, so I don't think that'll be it. I think we're probably going to be looking at Stranger Things 4. They're in production for it right now, even though they don't have a show announced date. I can definitely see some corporate synergy happening there. I think it would be really cool to see a second Slaughter Cinema House, since they say they had so many ideas for
I
that.
Can imagine.
To flesh that out, since it's an Anthem kind of house as well. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I can imagine after all those years of Horror Nights that they'd have a lot of rejects for various reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look what a great house all those rejects made. So.
By the way, Brandi, how was Midsummer? I skipped it. Was it any good?
It is creepy as all get out. The bear stuff is pretty gross.
Bear.
It's
bear.
I really like the aesthetic appeal of that, and I like the fact that it doesn't look like a horror movie. Is what I like about it. It's filmed in very bright. It has a lot of lens flare blowout stuff, and it's very it doesn't have a gritty feel to it like a lot of horror movies do. It's very aesthetically different.
Yeah, I guess what I mean by
I think the biggest thing that probably everybody says that won't ever happen now because of the buyout, but I think they're really missing the boat with Treehouse of Horror. Like you have the land there already. Like it would be perfect to put Treehouse of Horror in, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Ever since it became Springfield, and why won't they do that? I don't know, but I guess what I mean rejected is
they have the Kang and Kodos, like Kang and Kodos are there already. Yeah. Like it makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I think by rejected ideas, I mean like they probably had 10 house locations, but like 12 great ideas, and 2 of them were just a little bit less great, or the timing wasn't right, or I don't know, it didn't work out for some reason. But it wasn't that it was a bad idea. It just didn't go for it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, well, we could do an extra house, or we can bring in Stranger Things. Okay, well, let's do Stranger Things. So it kind of got put off. So it was just a compilation of ideas that didn't work for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that'd be cool.
And we did see Yeti actually got its own house.
Yeah.
I mean, in a different form, but...
Or Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, yeah.
That's a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's technically a Sasquatch of the North, so I guess it is technically a Yeti.
But maybe it's time to bring back no, I forgot again. The show that they had only for 2 years, American Horror Story.
Oh.
But is that still popular? Do people still like the newer seasons of that?
I think American Horror Story is still really popular. And after you mentioned it when we were together, it doesn't make sense that they didn't have it, considering it fit the theme so well this year. It's American Horror Story 1984 is the season, which is like a shoehorn into what the theme of it is. Yeah.
I
know a lot of people want to see it move from an 80s theme to a 90s theme, especially
I would like to see that.
being the anniversary that started in the 90s. I think that could be a cool time, but I really don't see how aesthetically different that's going to be from the 80s anyway. Like
there are definitely some very good distinctions. In the early 90s, 90 and 91, it was kind of similar, but yeah, I'll just say 90s were better.
Yeah.
I think we could see a Scream house if they did 90s. Maybe we'll finally get Scream.
Actually for real.
Yeah.
And a little more grunge and the scare zones and the music.
Yeah.
I think it's time to bring Marilyn Manson back into the mix. First almost 10 years we're going, that Marilyn Manson had music almost every single year in a scare zone somewhere, like 7 or a few other times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think a Manson house would be really super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they let Rob Zombie they let Slash have one.
Slash had a house?
Yeah, Slash did all the music for the Universal Monsters house, and the one that's from Hollywood. Go look the soundtrack up, and every single one of those songs is a Slash song.
Wow, that's really cool.
Okay.
We Belong Dead. There's several really, really good songs on that soundtrack.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. I'd love to see 90s. I'm probably, I don't know if I'll go 80s or 90s, but I think I'm going to go with a punk theme next year for my costume, partly because that hair looks really cool, but it's annoying. So as far as like houses and things, what was anything else you want to mention that you would like to see come back?
Brian wants me to talk about Game of Thrones, but I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones.
He said in the chat they're doing a Game of Thrones prequel that gives them a second chance for Horror Nights 30.
Maybe.
I don't think Game of Thrones fits the event that well.
Yeah.
I just feel like Game of Thrones is going to be just a merchandise opportunity and not really an opportunity to flesh out a really good, strong house.
I'm still kind of surprised that they didn't go for It or It 2 or the original It or something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but couldn't they do the original It? Is that Warner Brothers also?
I'm not sure.
That was a mini-series.
But that's Stephen King, and Stephen King's pro HHN.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they didn't. I still wish I had the money and the space to do an IT house, but
It's just you plugging stuff in and then unplugging it and then plugging it back in.
It'd be the IT department gets so many new people who don't know anything about technology, and they just go crazy trying to fix problems for people who don't know anything, and they just snap. And then you walk through the house and there's people hanging from like Ethernet cables and stuff. But
I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound terrible. What if it had GATs in it and you pressed the GATs and it went to blue screen of death?
or like one of the GATs is the screech of a modem. I love modem.
I actually liked that.
The more I thought about that joke is like, I actually want to see that house now.
By the way,
worse.
Brandi, you were here a year ago, right, for the first Stranger Things house?
I was.
Do you remember?
She was here. You have a picture to prove it.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Do you remember going through the house and you see like the legs of like somebody hitting an elevator shaft?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you hit the elevator button, he moved.
That's right. Yes, I did it. I did it once, and I actually scared myself because I was like, oh crap.
You were your own scare actor.
I feel like they didn't use GATs as good this year.
No.
Other than my Brian thought that the one GAT was not a GAT, but I love that Easter egg hidden stuff in there, and I wish that they would have done a little bit more of that this year.
Yeah, the ones in Killer Clowns were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the spray.
Totally
That was the first. That actually is a callback from Giggles and Gore.
Yes, you're right.
I completely forgot about it just now. And
we were talking about it too. I actually think it might have even been the same buttons from Carnival Graveyard, because the ones in Carnival Graveyard had little smiley faces on them too. Yeah.
But the one, so Giggles and Gore was Harnet's 24, so 2014.
That's in an area which is now Fast and Furious. It ate that too.
Yeah. So it was a house dedicated to clowns, and clowns were not born; they were made. And so it was a fact.
They're popped in the popcorn popper.
So it was a factory where they make evil clowns, and there was an accident area where it was like a machine, and this clown had been like clobbered by the machine, so it's like the clown and then the machine sticking out of him, and there's a red button and it said do not press this button, and if you did, it was a GAT, and it would spray you with water.
Yeah. And if you want to see that house on this very channel, I have a walkthrough because it was in what was the disaster queue. And it was an outdoor queue. So if you went in, and apparently this still happens in Hollywood, if you went in at the very beginning of the event, because it was outdoors, it was well lit. So you can see everything. We don't have that anymore. We have tents, but they're enclosed. I also don't shoot in houses anymore unless I go to Holoscreen. But that's on there.
Yeah. Dan the Gamer says they did it in Hollywood at the Warner Brothers backlot.
Oh.
So maybe within the next few years we'll get something it. Because like
we'll see.
What sometimes happens is Hollywood gets it, then we get it like 2-3 years down the line.
Well, that's not even Hollywood. That's Warner Brothers.
Oh, I see. So
we were in California back in August as well, right when It 2 came out. There was a pop-up carnival that was It themed on Hollywood Boulevard downtown.
That's cool.
Yeah. By the way,
and another thing I'd like to see return that I mentioned earlier is having a screen in the arches instead of the broken fences thing.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah. I thought it was cooler.
I guess because they spend a lot of time and money on that, and like not a lot of people are hanging around at the gates.
It didn't take that long to cut together that video.
Yeah.
Except for the humongous crowd that hangs out in front of the gates
for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Although most of them wouldn't be able to see it because it was in the arches, and the screen hangs here. So, but still, yeah, during the day, and I don't know. I thought it was there were short clips. The funny thing is, in 2011, when Saws and Scream became the first scare zone to become a house, he and I were walking up to the arches. We both looked up at the screen at the same exact time. We went Saws and Steam, like not even knowing either the other one was going to say. It was just hilarious. But anyway, so that is our final wrap up. It's a very good year. It was still a pretty slow start for quite a while. There were not like, I don't know if we ever saw like some of the super crazy early days of The Walking Dead of 200 some minutes.
Oh yeah,
but,
yeah.
It went over 100 a couple times. There was a few times when House of the Thousand Corpses was pretty high, but again, you go in the beginning of the event, you can go through, walk out the back, walk right back in a few times.
Yeah.
And I am very interested in the sort of rumored survey that went around asking what people would like to see Bill and Ted or Academy of Villains. I do wonder what their motivation is with that, because my understanding is they stopped Bill and Ted because they weren't able to keep the license because it's not theirs. But there's a lot of other rumored reasons for that, so I don't know what the true reason. It could be a combination, but if they have the ability to bring Bill and Ted back, of course.
Yeah.
So that might indicate something. It might indicate nothing. It might just be they just threw that out there just because they're just wanted to see how many people miss it.
They've got to hear it. They've got to hear the feedback on it all the time.
Yeah.
We you guys might not see it, but we have a group of regulars who come every year. It's 4 of them, and they wear shirts that say "Bring back Bill and Ted."
Yeah.
We saw somebody, just one guy though, that had a Bill and Ted shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that
Academy of Villains has like a very dedicated following group of fans, like people that will come and just watch that show over and over and over again. They have a Twitter army of Academy of Villains fans.
Yeah.
But now, that was Bill and Ted.
And now that this year's show apparently is last year's show, it's going to be harder. But
I liked Academy this year. I actually thought it was really great.
I thought it was definitely better than last year's.
I didn't see it. So I don't know. Hopefully they can bring back a Bill and Ted type show and still have Academy somewhere else. Because I heard another reviewer say that they also liked Academy better when it was more focused on dancing in the streets. And it's interesting that their more popular show brought back elements of their first show, which was the one I liked. So we'll see. Hopefully, I have to believe that they're going to add more dates. It's just a little bit of a teaser. Maybe it's just poking the fan base. Maybe it's just like, hey, we're going to do these dates. What do you think of that? And then just wait to hear the screams.
You think they'll add them on at the end? Or like where they filled in that extra Monday? Like, do you think they'll add Mondays on? That's going to kill all the scare actors. They're going to have 6-day weeks.
Well, it wouldn't be like every Monday.
Yeah.
But like at least as long as I've been scare acting, which is 3 years now, they've always added a date or two, and they always say like, look, if you are available, go ahead, say so.
Yeah.
If you are not available, okay, cool.
It's been because of hurricanes before.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that they add more dates to the front, or either the week before or into November. Probably not in the middle, because they filled out the middle pretty well.
Mm. And they typically, throw a middle date in there somewhere. Yeah. Now they might throw a couple dates after October 31st in there. Especially since, like, for the past 4 years, they've gone into November.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to put some other sneaky thing on the front of it. Like I know not Rock the Universe because it's probably already been announced, but like the Harry Potter event that went away or something. Like maybe there's something else that just hasn't been announced yet.
Maybe. You might be right.
We'll see. But
we'll be there, and in fact, I'm trying to be there twice. So,
yeah. But I mean, maybe they will add a Monday. I mean, that's what Fire Crew and Reserve is for.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. There's a long way to wait.
Yeah.
But any last? I know I've said this. Last call.
Last call, everybody.
For Yeah, well, it's sad to see it being taken down and you know, trash being put up in place. But at least we still have a little bit longer of the tribute store.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next couple of days I'll go through one last time and shoot some of that, and we'll see.
Oh, Brandi, I did find the. I think I told you I found the ILO Easter egg that you mentioned in the Ghostbusters room.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That whole Ghostbusters room is just chock full of really great Easter eggs.
Yes.
There's so much stuff in the bulletin board in there, on the fridge. They absolutely knocked the tribute store out of the park this year. It's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. Everyone in the comments, thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for all your comments and questions. Don't forget to stick around for Rock Talk. As soon as we end, it's going to be like a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back for Rock Talk. Okay, guys?
Yep. Everyone's still good to do that. I know it went long, not as long, but we'll try to right ourselves because we're a little upside down right now. So, all right. Well, last call for comments.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
All right.
That
And
seems about it.